Hello, wonderful people. How are you? Today I'm talking about distractions. Don't be distracted from what I've got to say. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So, the internet is awash. It is awash with people speculating about the royal family from the UK. Kate Middleton, to be exact. However, Prince Charles too, and all of that. And really, I mean, it has been the topic of the month. It is flavour of the month, is it not? And her jumper. She's worn the same jumper for 7 years. What's that about? So I had my opinions about what that was all about, but I wanted to get the emissary's opinion on it. And so I said, what do you think about this Kate Middleton debacle? And they said, there's a tremendous push for distraction at the moment, which is what I thought. But there you are. Maybe they'd already told me. Tremendous push for distraction. And they said that there's a push for distractions to distract the people away from what they really should be looking at, because there's an awful lot of stuff going on. But if you think about it, really this has lit up the networks of the truther movement, the conspiracy movement, because I would see them as two different things, and also mainstream. So, and what else has it done? It's created a polemic of this is not true, leave her alone, this is not true, this is terrible, it's in, another kind of binary situation of, do you believe it's true or do you think it's a lie? People are even doing polls online. Do you believe this is true or is it a lie? Another divide and conquer. So a big distraction, and that's what the emissaries were saying. But they said, expect this year to be filled with these kind of distractions and expect them to elevate, to become even bigger, even more capturing in terms of our attention. But what they said was this, and I thought this was interesting. They said, however, you may have noticed that these distractions are done very, very, very badly. And, when you look at it, as I said, she's had that same stripy jumper on for 7 years. It's like, is that the only jumper that she's got? Photos coming out all over the shant of the royal family with weird fingers. There's something, I know AI has problems with hands. They do everything really nicely, but the hands, I don't know why, but they just can't get the hands right. Fingers all distorted. I mean, everyone in the royal family looks like they've got arthritis. It's chronic arthritis in the hands. And then, taking a photograph that looks like, to be honest, the photo that I saw of her in the car looked like it had been taken from a 1990 Nokia phone. I mean, it couldn't have been, my phone is not new, but the quality is incredible. So what phone did they use, or what camera did they use to have a photo that was so badly grained? And then other people who don't look like her at all appearing. And the emissaries said, one might think, these were their words exactly. Let me see. They said, one would think that something was sabotaging all of their work. And it's like, right, so they want to create a polemic. They want to divide people. And so they need to be some holes in their arguments. But then, all the newspapers put Kate's death debunked, or Kate's blah, blah, blah debunked. And so everyone goes, oh yeah, that's right, that's debunked now, isn't it? You only have to see something's debunked for a lot of people to go, oh, well, that's all right then. You don't need you could have Kate's death debunked and no information underneath, and people go, there you are. There's a photo, look, I love that jumper. I've always loved that jumper. I've loved that jumper for 7 years. That is my favourite jumper, and hers too, apparently. So, What the emissaries said was something, it was an interesting take on it. And they said this: even if they think that they're playing a clever game by doing this kind of binary stuff and creating these distractions, they said they're actually doing themselves a lot of harm because of the way that we work, which is when we start having doubts about anything. Remember, before there was no doubts. We knew our other politicians loved us. We knew society was just there, for our greater good. But no, when people start having doubts and going, well, I'm not entirely certain about that. That doesn't really ring true. That doesn't look right. Why is she still wearing that jumper? I hope she's washed it. What happens is this: when doubt creeps in, the reticular activating system in the mind opens doors. The doors to perception. Once the doors of perception are opened, they cannot be closed. This is very important. It's the same principle of once you've awakened, you can't go back to sleep. Sorry about that. Hard lines. And I think many of us have tried. Let me just go back to 1980 when everything was lovely. Now just listening to David Bowie and getting drunk. We all want to do that, but we can't. There is no backward steps going back to sleep. You can't do it. Only if you did, it would create mental instability. You would have that, you would be in a dichotomy. Yeah? And we can't do it. Well, it's the same. It's the same for the people whose minds are being open to, hang on a minute, something smells a bit off. Something smells a bit fishy. Exactly. And Kate's jumper was a fisherman's jumper, like with lines on. My mum wears a lot of those jumpers too, like lines this way. Why? I don't know, but she likes them. So does Kate. Well, she doesn't. She doesn't like them. She likes it. Just one. So our job really is to, look, let's enjoy these things that are happening. They're interesting, but let's not become part of it. Let's not get so involved that that's what we talk about, because there are lots of other things that are more important to talk about than pretendy people who pretend to be something more than what we are. Okay? They're just bog standard. And I was going to say, they all shit the same colour. But I don't know. And they probably don't know either, because they have people who wipe their bottoms. So I was led to believe the royal family don't wipe their own bottoms. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I did hear a story of somebody who knew the Queen's bottom wiper. And that was his job. And he sort of just hung around. I don't know what he did in the meantime, probably washed his hands. But I don't know what other jobs he might have had. But he just sort of hung around waiting for her movement. I mean, hopefully she was regular. That's all I can ask. Let's hope she was regular, so at least, he had a pattern. Because what do? You're at home, you're lying in bed, you're off shift, and then you get a call, I'm sorry, she wants a shit. Can you come in? Oh, for God's sake. And then like 3 o'clock in the morning, go on, and yes, Mrs. Queen, yeah, that's all clean now, go back to bed, And probably never bit his nails. He probably never bit his nails in his life. Why would you? So, they're just the same as us. In essence, cut them and they bleed. Unless they're AI. And then cut them and nothing happens. The only difference is that they're never going to be able to play the violin properly. Or the piano. Because of the hand issue that they have. We probably could. The normal plebs, we could play something very nice. If we wanted to learn, they wouldn't be able to. I mean, what could you play with that? Juice harp? Probably. That's about it. So there you are. Never going to be a royal musician, I wouldn't have thought. There you are. So, distractions. Watch them, laugh at them, but hey, let's not get too deeply involved in them. They are just distractions. I love you all, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.